We're learning Mishna Gittin, Parak Gimel, Chapter 3, Mishnah Beis, Mishnah 2. Okay. Now, the previous Mishnah, we discussed the law of having tried to get lishma. You have to write the get for the specific man and women that are being divorced. Now, we're gonna talk a little bit about maybe there are some cases that are a little bit different. Hakaisev Taipse Gittin, one who writes Tovsim of Gittin. Now we're talking about here a sofer. He's a scribe, and as we mentioned already a number of times, a get has two parts. It has the tofes and the teref. The teref is the main part, the essential part. His name, her name, the place, the date, where he writes, "You're permitted to any man." That's the essential part of the get. Then you have the rest of the text, the standard text of the get. So somebody who writes Taipse Gittin. So the typhus is that standard part. So what this person does is, he's a sofer, and he wants to be able to kind of have most of a get already written out, so that if somebody comes and says to him, "I need a get," instead of having to write the whole thing over from scratch, he'll be able to fill in the main points. They'll have the standard text, and then when it comes to the people, he'll write in the people's name, the place, meaning whatever essentially needs lishma, that is what he's going to do. So he'll write a standard text, he'll have these getting ready, and then if a person comes and needs a get, he'll fill in the blanks accordingly. So Hakaisev Taipse Gittin, one who writes Taipse Gittin, as we just explained, Sarach Sheyaniach Mekayim Ish, he's got to leave out the place for the man's name, Mekayim Isha, the place of the woman's name, Mekayim Azman, the place for the time, and actually it's more than just that. It's not just the time. It's also, it doesn't mention, I believe also it has to be the name of the place, the statement of that she arayat muteris al adam, you're permitted now to all men. All that has to be written, lishma. So that's the person who writes the Taipse Gittin. It's the person who goes and writes these standard text Gittin. Okay, the Mishnah, according to right now, is saying it's okay to do, which means that part of the get, is it lishma? No, it's not, because it's written in advance. So it's not lishma, it's not written for the specific man or woman. But according to this opinion, we allow the scribe to do this, because we want the scribe to be able to have the time to take care of other things instead of having to go ahead and write a whole new get from to begin with. So the explanation for this opinion is it's called Mishum. It's Mishum Hefsid. What's the wording here? Right. Mishum. Oh, wait. The Mishnah is going to say it a little bit later on. Yeah, but it's Mipnei. It's for the benefit of the scribes. Now, so that's when it comes to writing a standard get. Shtari Milva. Let's say he wants to do the same thing with an IOU. He wants to write a couple of standard text, and then when it comes to the person who needs it, he'll fill in for the person who needs it. So it's got to leave a place for the name of the lender. Mekayim haLoive, he's got to leave the name, the place for the borrower's name. Mekayim haMois, he's got to need place for how much money is being lent. Mekayim haZman, and you need the place for the time. It is very important for an IOU to have the proper time on it, because as we learned previously, a predated IOU can make problems. Okay, so therefore you have to go ahead and leave out these parts. Okay, next, Shtari Mekach. If let's say he's writing a bill of sale, and again he wants to write a number of bill of sales in advance so they can be ready for people who are going to need them. He needs to leave the place for the name of the buyer, and the place for the name of the seller, and the place for how much money it's being bought for, and the place for, if he's selling a field, which field are we talking about, and the place for when the date is put, and that's what he's going to fill in when somebody comes in and requests it. But he's able to go ahead and do all these things in advance, mipnei hatakana, for the benefit of the scribe, so that they should be available when needed, and the scribe should not have to take out time from other activities to start writing a get. Therefore, the rabbis let stand the biblical law that only the taref of a get need be written lishma. Meaning, as we said before, the essential part of the get, his name, her name, the place, the time, you have to have make sure I'm getting this right. It says here, by the get, you leave the name of the man, the woman, and the place. Okay? And let's 1 second. Okay, no mention of the time. I'm not sure exactly why. And I did see somewhere else that it also includes the sentence of you're permitted to any man now. All right. So essentially, according to Torah law, which parts need to be written specifically for him? Those parts. The main part, the essential part, as we just said, the taref. Do other documents have to be written lishma? When you write an IOU for a person, you have to write it for this specific creditor and this specific borrower. There's no halacha like that. Do you have to do the same thing by, let's say you're writing a bill of sale? That's written specifically for these people? Actually not. You could actually fill out really and essentially, according to the letter of the law, you should be able to just fill it all out, put in names, and this is your name, and this is your name. Fine, here it is. Or it's for this place. You don't need to do it specifically for them. However, when it comes to a get, we know you have to. So therefore, according to now, the thing is like this. Even within a get, there would be place to say that, it's true that according to the letter of the law, according to Torah law, the standard part, the tofes, doesn't need to be written lishma, but you should do it anyway. Because, if you write one part of the get not lishma, maybe it comes to write the other part of the get not lishma. So we say that, no, we don't go that far. We say that, for takana, for the sake of the scribe, we say that the scribe can go ahead, write the standard part, doesn't have to be lishma, because according to Torah law doesn't need to be, and you leave out the parts that have to be written specifically for them, the names, etc. Okay? So, but at the end of the day, you have to leave over these places. Now, but then the Mishnah continues, even according to this first opinion, you got to do the same thing by an IOU and a bill of sale. Why? They don't have to be written lishma. Why are we saying there too? You write the standard text and you leave the spots. Why leaving the spots for? You don't need to. The answer is so as not to make confusion with a get. All for the sake of making sure that the get comes out right. We say by other documents, if you're going to write a standard text in advance, you got to leave out the names. You got to leave out the important parts. Okay, that's the first opinion. Rabbi Yehuda Paisa B'Kulan. Yehuda says by all of them, they're no good. They're all puzzle. According to Rabbi Yehuda, he considers all legal documents whose types were written in advance invalid. Even the blank spaces were left for their essential information. According to Rabbi Yehuda, the rabbis did decree that the tofes of a get may not be written in advance, just as the taref may not be written in advance. Furthermore, they extended this prohibition to include all legal documents, not just Gittin. According to Rabbi Yehuda said the Rabbanan went all the way out. Number one, within a get itself, even though according to Torah law, the taref, the standard text doesn't need to be written lishma, you got to write that lishma too. If you don't write it lishma, the get's no good. We don't want part of it get written one way, another part getting written another way. The whole get has to be written lishma. Not only that, in order to make sure that Gittin are done right, all other documents have to be done the same way. They got to be done the same way. You also have to leave the essential, the most important information. You got to leave it out. If you don't leave it out, it's no good. Rebbe Lazar machshir b'kulan, which is actually that part about needing to make the other documents like the Gittin. The first opinion held that way also. Rabbi Yehuda says everything's puzzle. The Karnatana Kama, by that you could write the standard text and leave out the main names. According to Rabbi Yehuda, can't do it by a get, you can't do it by anything else. So it's completely different. I'm sorry, completely different than the first opinion. Rebbe Lazar machshir b'kulan. Rebbe Lazar says by all other documents they are kosher. Chutz v'gitei nashim, other than gitei nashim, shenebar v'kasav la lishma, where the Torah said there you got to write a lishma. So where the Torah says you got to write a get lishma, it has to be lishma. And when we say it has to be lishma, the halacha is that you also have to write the tofes, not just the taref. You got to write the tofes lishma. That also the whole get has to be written for the sake of these people. However, when it comes to other documents, the halacha is other documents you're not going to have to do this. By other documents, even if you write the essential information in advance, you write names and places and fields and everything, you write it in advance. Like, for instance, you know there's a deal going to happen. Didn't happen yet, but you know it's going to, you hear they're talking about a deal. So you go ahead and write everything in advance in case the deal goes through. So according to Rebbe Lezer, no problem. 100% kosher. When it came to other documents, the sage has never made any kind of decrees about making it similar to a get. The only time anything is going to need any kind of lishma for its own specific purpose, meaning that you cannot write the names and the essential information in advance, all that is by a get. And not only is it regarding the essential information, it's regarding the entire get itself. Have a wonderful day.